I'm Josh, I'm the CEO of MorphoMFG. Today they've got me looking at a video, Epic Flops, Kickstarter Fails. We're going to take a look and see why they failed. Here we go.
This is Perry Chen. In 2001, he was really into music and wanted to throw a concert, but he had no money. So people just had to pledge to give, which made it safe for them. He liked the funding idea so much that he decided to make it a bit.
I think Perry likes music and art and theater a little too much, to be honest. I think Indiegogo took a different route and went more products, hardware, tech. And Kickstarter, I think, lost a bit of their edge in the last couple of years because of that.
A $4 million razor that cuts deep. So when a company promised laser razors, the world took notice. In theory, the Scarp laser razor was really cool. It had an elegant design and the blade was actually a laser. The media was so hyped they called it the future of shaving. Its Kickstarter campaign asked for $160,000, but people were so pumped about the laser razor that 20,000 backers pledged over $4 million.
What shit, man.
The first prototype doused the hype. It was sketchy. The blade may have cut hair, but it wasn't efficient at all. Then there was the company itself.
No documentation backed up
Scarp's claims, the
funding seemed too low, and Scarp didn't even
fully explain the laser technology. The media interviewed experts in laser dynamics, and they questioned the mere physics of it all. It got so shady that Kickstarter suspended the project. Scarp was in violation of their rules requiring working prototypes of physical products offered as rewards.
That's the biggest thing that we see now, right? A lot of companies 3, 4, 5 years ago were just putting out pictures of what they wanted their product to work, or 3D renderings. Kickstarter doesn't allow that, right? And so what we started to do is, because the point of Kickstarter is not to have to spend too much money at the beginning, not to have to throw your life away to chase your dreams, right? To be able to put an MVP, an idea out there and get people to back your idea, right? Basically micro investments. And so what we figured out is really you need two things. You need a prototype that looks good, that looks like it will be the final product, and you need to prove the science. So these guys didn't really prove the science. This was back in the heyday, so it was easy for them to just say, yeah, let's make this, and everyone was like, okay, cool. That wouldn't fly now, right? It's a very different world. You have to be able to prove that your product is what you say it is.
So basically the project wasn't real. But Scarp wasn't done. Just hours after getting the boot from Kickstarter, Scarp appeared on Indiegogo.
Of course.
There it raised
Indiegogo had less strict rules and still does. So a lot of people were getting away with a lot more on Indiegogo.
$1,000 and was active as late as 2020. But the campaign has since closed. 3D printing done wrong. Let's face it, we've all wanted a 3D printer, but they can be expensive. That's why the Tico 3D was promising. Just $179, it was too good to pass up. That's what 16,538 backers believed.
They pledged close
on Kickstarter, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. A lot of consumer retail 3D printers are crap, right? The only thing they're good for is a one-time print Yoda head. We'll put a picture, and that's it, right? Show people you have a 3D printer, do a little flex. Not a lot of purpose, not a lot of utility for those cheap 3D printers anyways.
So $3 million for the idea, making it the second most funded 3D printer on Kickstarter ever. But Tico actually produced the printers once it reached the funding goal. It managed to ship around 4,000 units. It was then that the problems began. Users complained of the printing and build quality, and the culprit was the unibody. Yes, it was beautiful to look at, but to make it, the company resorted to custom electronics and components which were unreliable and made it expensive. Plus, it wasn't like Tico.
Actually, there's a good point there. A lot of people will look now, especially with the shortage, the supply and demand for chips, for ICs is through the roof. And people are looking for solutions. There isn't one, right? If you want to use manufacturing's commodities at the end of the day, right? There's obviously a lot of different steps, a lot of things built into that. But chips cost what they cost. And if you go for cheaper, made in China chips rather than using a chip that you needed, don't complain when you have problems, right? You made the decision, live with it.
Was better at printing than the competition. In fact, experts criticized them for not using cheaper components to accomplish the same goals. Even with $4 million in funding, the company was hemorrhaging money fast, and by 2016, the Tico 3D printer was dead and the money was gone. There wasn't even enough to repay the backers. So what did those thousands of pledgers do? They turned to Kickstarter. That's right. Many angry users created a Kickstarter campaign to raise money
He
to
settled a lawsuit against
Tico, which hasn't gone far. So
12,000 people
Angry
have had to kiss
bastards.
$179 goodbye. And at least there's about 4,000 printers out there that work as a good doorstop.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of failures on Kickstarter, and I think the majority of them come from lack of preparation, lack of understanding what things are going to cost, lack of understanding how long things are going to take, logistics, quality control. There's so many things to look at, right? And that's changing. Kickstarter has changed a lot over the last couple of years. Teams are coming to the table more prepped. People know what it's going to take to get their product to market. You know, they're not going in naive, making $500,000 and having no idea what to do. They're going in, they already have their bomb ready. They already have a working prototype ready. They already have their entire supply chain scaled out. They just need to press go. So if you have a Kickstarter, make sure that you're prepped. Make sure you know what you're doing, because if not, you're going to end up like one of these guys.